Ukrainian army is getting closer and closer to victory every day. Russian troops continue to face heavy attacks across Ukraine. Ukraine has completely changed its offensive strategy. Chechen troops began to suffer terrible losses in the face of the Ukrainian advance. Statements made by Russia about Kherson attract the attention of the world public opinion. British Defense Intelligence announced the next target of the Ukrainian army after Kherson. Upcoming G20 summit could be the beginning of a new era for the Ukraine-Russia war. Russia is preparing to use its latest technology for use on the front. The Ukrainian Air Force, on the other hand, could soon have a serious power multiplier. Russia-Ukraine war has come to a position that the whole world is watching with interest. Enormous counter-offensive launched by the Ukrainian army after long preparations has finally begun to bear fruit. According to the latest news from the region, the Ukrainian army started to destroy large Russian troops as a result of its operations using bombs connected to drone systems. Unlike kamikaze unmanned aerial vehicles, these systems are effective by dropping the bomb they carry. Russians have so far been unable to block these systems. Ukrainian missile and artillery units, which came into play after the counterattack of these systems, launched 150 missiles in about 1 minute and carried out very strong attacks on the positions of the Russian army. According to the statement made by the Ukrainian Southern Operational Command, Ukrainian Defense Forces destroyed 300 soldiers, 2 tanks, 4 trucks, 2 command centers, 9 military units, military equipment, and 2 critical military targets belonging to the Russian forces with precision attacks in the village of Cherveny-Mayak. Although the majority of these attacks are carried out with HIMARS systems supplied by the USA, it is reported that systems such as the BM-21 obtained from the Russian army are also used. Russia quickly deployed its air defense systems to prevent Ukraine's missile attacks. However, the Ukrainian Air Force easily solved this problem. The head of the Luhansk Oblast Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, announced that the warplanes of the Ukrainian Air Force carried out 16 airstrikes against Russian forces in Luhansk Oblast in 24 hours. Haidai reported that as a result of the attacks carried out by Ukrainian planes, Russian personnel, weapons, and military equipment were concentrated in 13 regions and 3 Russian anti-aircraft missile systems. These attacks inflicted serious damage on the Russians. Infuriated after these attacks, Sergei Surovikin immediately ordered his troops to attack. Valentin Reznichenko, head of the military administration of the Dnipropetrovsk region, announced on his social media account that Russian missile and artillery units launched a total of 50 missile attacks on Chervonog-Grigorivska and Nikopolsk regions since midnight last night. According to preliminary data published by Reznichenko, no damage was caused as a result of the attacks. While these missile attacks continued, Chechen troops took action in the Donetsk Oblast. But the difference here is that the Chechen soldiers clashed with the Russian soldiers. General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported that 3 soldiers were wounded in the clash between the soldiers from the Russian-controlled Donetsk Oblast and the soldiers from the Chechen Republic. There is currently no information on the exact casualties of the event, as it is difficult to stream data from the Donbass region. However, it is clear that the problems of the Russian army are much greater than previously thought. They even started fighting among themselves. This, of course, makes it easier for the Ukrainian army to gain an advantage. In the new period, when the Ukrainian army won the victory, it achieved its greatest success in the Kherson region. Kherson is now a free Ukrainian city. In addition, the Ukrainian army took control not only of Kherson, but also of serious ammunition and weapons. Ukrainian armed forces discovered Russian tanks, artillery, and other equipment in the liberated territory of the south, where they could not pass the Dnipro as the Russian army retreated. This news was announced by Natalia Humeniuk, head of the Southern Operations Command Press Center. Humeniuk confirmed that these systems will serve the Ukrainian army after undergoing the necessary inspections and repairs. Although Western countries have helped Ukraine many times since the beginning of the war, Russia has always been Ukraine's biggest supplier. This latest incident in Kherson also angered the Russians. In a statement made by the Kremlin, it was stated that the withdrawal of Russian forces from Kherson would not change the situation in the region in any way. In short, Russia said that it would continue to recognize the fake referendum decision in 4 provinces. Peskov said this was a decision taken by the Defense Ministry and had nothing to add in the Kremlin's initial public statements, since Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu announced that Russian forces would withdraw from the city of Kherson to the opposite bank of the Dnipro River. Although Russia considers these regions its territory, it does not make sense in the international arena. Following Peskov's statements, some statements were also made from England. British Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said Russia's withdrawal from Kherson was another strategic failure for Moscow. Also, Wallace added, Ukraine will continue to exert pressure. Great Britain and the international community will continue to support it, and although the withdrawal of troops is welcome, no one will underestimate the continuing threat from the Russian Federation. Ukraine also knows this and has started its preparations for the future. Ukrainian army began to deploy HIMARS and other missile systems east of the city of Kherson. This move shows that Crimea, which has been under Russian control for 8 years, will be the new target of the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expresses this desire at every opportunity. President Volodymyr Zelensky even described the capture of Kherson on his Telegram page as a historic day. Many countries and leaders are currently wondering about the next move of the Ukrainian army. Head of the Defense Intelligence Agency of Ukraine, Major General Kyrylo Budanov, said that the troops withdrawn from Kherson were transferred to regions such as Zaporizhzhia and Mykolaiv. Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov also stated that he fully agreed with Budanov's statements. However, there is another alternative here. Russia can also place these troops in the Bakhmut and Donetsk regions. Just as the southern region is important to Ukraine, the eastern region is equally important. Russia, on the other hand, may want to make up for its defeats in the south in the eastern region. The only way Surovikin could realistically sell the Kherson withdrawal idea to Putin was by promising guaranteed success in the east. Andriy Zagorodnyuk, head of the Center for Defense Strategies, wrote on his Atlantic Council blog, "For the Ukrainian army, Crimea is currently the only and absolute target. If Kiev's forces can somehow pass the Dnipro, that could change everything." However, Russia does not seem to want to experience this for now. According to the TASS news platform, known for its proximity to the Kremlin, the Russian military department has ordered an additional batch of the latest hypersonic Zircon missiles from the industry. Additional contract reportedly covers several dozen missiles. All orders will reportedly be completed by 2023. Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation has not made any statements confirming these claims so far. However, Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin stated that the hypersonic Zircon cruise missile has completed its tests in Russia and will enter service in the country's Navy from 2022. These missiles are known as the most advanced missiles of the Russians. The way they are used and their effectiveness on the front are quite good. USA also planned a new move in response to this move of Russia. According to the package announced, the U.S. Department of Defense will send brand new Hawk missiles to be delivered to the Ukrainian army. It is aimed to achieve maximum efficiency by integrating these missiles into the systems used by the Ukrainian army. And this is not the only aid that will reach the Ukrainian army. Royal United Services Institute has published a report on the war between Ukraine and Russia. This report comes after Russia reported that it has deployed MiG-31 warplanes to Ukraine. According to the report, Western countries are planning to send brand new warplanes to be delivered to Ukraine. Report suggests it could be the Swedish Saab JAS-39 Gripen. Delivery of a Western warplane is as important as the delivery of anti-aircraft missile systems. President of Ukraine, Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky, has repeatedly stressed in his demands to his allies that his country must regain control of the skies over Ukraine. It is also known that the Swedes developed the Saab JAS-39 Gripen precisely to deal with a Russian attack. If this aircraft is delivered to the Ukrainian Air Force, we can consider that this war for Russia is over. We will continue to monitor the world, and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.